a sense of unease is perceptibly growing across Europe. European capitals worry about a shift in American foreign policy. The United States, a long-standing ally, is increasingly turning its attention elsewhere. European leaders are grappling with the implications of a potentially less engaged America on the continent's security. This feeling of potential abandonment has been developing over several years. Both the Trump and Biden presidencies have pursued policies that prioritize American domestic interests. This trend has fostered a sense of being sidelined, prompting a re-evaluation of Europe's own strategic imperatives. Major US decisions were made with minimal consultation with European allies. This includes critical geopolitical moves and economic policy shifts. The inward turn by Washington contributes to the European feeling that the old certainties of the transatlantic alliance are eroding. Trust, the bedrock of any strong alliance, is showing signs of wear. While cooperation continues in many areas, an undercurrent of fragility persists. This is especially true concerning long-term strategic alignment on issues like climate policy, trade, and technology regulation. For decades following the Second World War, the relationship between the United States and Europe was exceptionally close. It formed the cornerstone of the Western Alliance. This partnership was built on shared democratic values and a common understanding of global threats. The US played a crucial role in Europe's post-war reconstruction and its security architecture, most notably through NATO. However, the early 21st century has witnessed a significant alteration in this dynamic. The emergence of America, first as a guiding principle in US foreign policy, signaled a clear shift. European partners began to observe a US less inclined to bear the burdens of global leadership. This change prompted concern and a reassessment within Europe about the enduring nature of American commitments. Several major US decisions have starkly illustrated this shift, often made unilaterally. The precipitous withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021 left many European partners scrambling. Similarly, important negotiations concerning China or Iran have proceeded with limited European input. This has fueled internal EU debates about strengthening its own defense capabilities and developing a more independent foreign policy stance. The transatlantic relationship is facing significant economic friction. Recent US economic policies have diverged from European interests, creating new sources of tension. A prime example is the US Inflation Reduction Act, IRA. While aimed at boosting American clean energy production, its subsidies for US-based companies have caused alarm in Europe. European leaders have criticized the IRA for creating an unlevel playing field. The EU has voiced concerns that such measures could be protectionist. The energy crisis, exacerbated by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, has also highlighted economic divergences. US LNG exports to Europe increased significantly, but at a high cost for European consumers. There is a perception that US energy companies profited from Europe's predicament. These economic tensions risk escalating into trade disputes. The European Central Bank has warned that Europe could be a significant loser in a US-China trade war. This underscores the EU's need to enhance its economic security and resilience. Direct diplomacy remains crucial to navigate these economic disagreements. NATO has found renewed purpose following Russia's aggression against Ukraine. The alliance has demonstrated remarkable unity in its response. The United States remains the largest military contributor to NATO. However, long-standing debates about burden sharing and strategic direction persist. A consistent theme in transatlantic security discussions has been the US pressure on European NATO members to increase their defense spending. Washington continues to emphasize that European security is primarily a European responsibility. In parallel, there is growing momentum in Europe for greater strategic autonomy. France has long advocated for an independent European defense capability. The EU has launched initiatives aimed at bolstering its defense industrial base. The goal is to enable Europe to act decisively, with partners if possible, but alone if necessary. A more capable and self-reliant Europe could be a stronger partner for the US. However, there are concerns that such efforts could duplicate NATO structures. The key will be to ensure that European defense initiatives are complementary to NATO. the Indo-Pacific Horizon rebalancing alliances and Europe's path forward. A significant factor shaping the perception of US priorities is Washington's strategic pivot towards the Indo-Pacific region. This shift is driven by the rise of China as a global power. The US is dedicating more resources to this region. For Europe, the US focus on the Indo-Pacific has several important implications. Many European policymakers perceive this pivot as leading to a deprioritization of Europe. While the US emphasizes its commitment to European security, there is concern that Europe will need to assume greater responsibility. Europe itself is also recalibrating its approach to China. The EU views China as a partner, competitor, and systemic rival. Recent EU actions reflect a more assertive European policy. Looking ahead, the future of US-Europe relations will likely involve navigating a new equilibrium. Europe may need to embrace greater strategic independence. This could lead to a stronger, more balanced relationship with the US, based on shared interests and a clearer division of responsibilities.